Hey guys, welcome back to Pixelated Nightmares. My name is Pixel, and today I have my friend British in the party.
What is going on, guys? How's it hanging?
Today we're going to talk about Mandalorian Episode 1. Is it worth it? Is it worth the wait? Is it worth getting Disney Plus? Those problems are yours. We're just going to give our quick thoughts on how we felt watching Episode 1. It's finally here, and we both watched it, and everyone's quite excited about it. What do you think, British?
Yeah, I mean, everyone's just going absolutely mad. Everyone's getting Disney Plus. All like, oh, you gotta get this thing, mainly for The Mandalorian. And I thought it was decent. It was a decent first episode, I guess.
Decent first episodes. First episodes are sometimes very difficult because they have to set the story in place. They have to introduce the characters and start the arc. So I agree. The episode, actually, well, I kind of agree. I think it was a great episode. For me, I'll just start with my opinion of it. The first thing that hit me, you know how my speakers are in my place, dude. They rumble. They got the bass. They got the treble. They sound good when you
Oh, that's
listen to
true,
something over
yeah.
the speakers. It literally felt so good and powerful when I was listening to specifically the first 5 minutes when they were doing, the real introduction of the whole show right there. The first 5 minutes had so much fantastic sound design that I was I was just like I couldn't even watch the screen. I was like, oh my god, just close my eyes. So next time we're
Yeah,
gonna
no, I
watch it
completely
together.
agree with that.
The sound, right? The
Because,
sound was
like,
great.
yeah, because, I mean, the sound was great in the beginning, and you're thrown on this, like, ice planet thing, too, so I was like, dang, it's not actually, like, a sandy planet, which was
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
And
We're
the sound
getting a
was
little.
great.
I will say we're probably getting a little bit weary of the sand planets. We need a different environment, and they provided us with a new environment. So, sound was the first thing that hit me. Obviously, the costume design. I'm just gonna go out on a limb right now, British, if you don't mind. Do you mind? You don't mind, do you? If I'm gonna
I
go out
don't
on a limb, I'm
mind
gonna go on a
now.
limb. Everyone, I'm going on a limb. British acknowledges it's okay for me to go out on a limb. I have a feeling, no conspiracy theory because Disney's involved here, but I have a feeling that this show will be nominated in the top 5 or 6 for costume design. I can already feel it. You can taste it. How beautiful it is. The costumes.
Yeah, I kind of, going off that, I kind of agree with that because I would think as soon as I saw the Mandalorian, is that his name? I don't even know if that's his name.
I don't
The
know.
Mandalorian, I'm like, okay, someone is going to definitely cosplay as that guy in whatever, like,
Mm-hmm.
Comic Con coming
Cosplays.
up.
Yeah,
Like
immediately.
that, 100%, we're gonna
Yeah.
see a lot of his cosplays.
Yeah, and if anybody's listening to our voices, if you're going to cosplay as Mandalorian, Mando, whatever his name ends up being, please don't take real live weaponry because they will check you at the gate and put you in jail. So if you're going to bring the big tuning fork with the stun gun, don't do it. Make sure it's plastic. But that
That was
gun,
actually pretty cool.
it was pretty
I didn't know
cool.
that it would like electrocute the guy. I
Yeah,
was
the
like,
stun thing,
dang.
that's what that is. Because remember, we seen that like 7, 8 months ago when they announced the initial kind of artwork, the sketching. And everyone's like, what is this going to do? Is he going to stab fish with it? Like, what's he going to do? It's a stun. It's so cool. It's for bounty hunting. It's cool.
And
It's
he
taser.
just stabbed and shot that ginormous
It,
fish.
it was really that. By the way, that fish or whatever that scene sounds. It was rumbling, and the bass was like it was so tight. It was magnificent sound. I think that's going to be the thing that I tune in the most for. Plus the hi- historical sounds, the stereotypical Star Wars sounds, the dings, the beeps, the boops. I love and just all of it. It's so good.
Yeah, for sure.
Cinematography
The
seems
dings.
solid.
Oh,
The
and that
dings
one
and the
guy,
beeps and
like,
boops.
yeah. What's that one guy who screams, like, in every. It was in episode 6. He's just like, ah! And he, like, jumps off with the. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Speaking of
But you
episode
guys know what I'm
six,
talking about.
no, no one knows what you're talking about, including me. Episode 6, ladies and gentlemen, we were talking before we're doing our little review podcast here. We were talking about when is this taking place because I remember watching the show when I forgot to. I'm not going to call him Apollo Creed like I did in pre-production here. Grief Karga, Carl Weathers' character, when Mando goes to cash in his chits and he tries to offer him Imperial coin as payment, and he turns it down. And I think he says the Empire has fallen. So it threw both of us off. But we can tell you guys that this is what it says. If you guys don't know this, after the stories of Jango and Boba Fett, another warrior emerges in the Star Wars universe. The Mandalorian is set after the fall of the Empire and before the emergence of the First Order. So now we have that settled. And
Yeah, I wish I
also,
knew that before I started
yeah,
watching the show.
I wish I knew that his Carl Weathers'
Oh,
character
man.
wasn't called Apollo Creed when we did the review, but we're doing it now and it's live, so it is what it is. It's out there. It's out there.
Yeah.
So we did see a lot of cool stuff. We saw Carbonite process. That makes me excited because I love Carbonite. It's one of my favorite things ever in Star Wars. Not just because Han Solo got frozen in there, but the Carbonite process is a bounty hunter thing. So that was pretty cool. We saw here's let me throw this out there real quick. The Because of the way Star Wars was released in the 70s, 80s, and whenever, George Lucas, brilliant ideas and everything, he kind of locked it into the synchronicity of similar species. So I don't know, I just made that up. So let's just call it the species synchronicity. Which what I mean by that is we weren't allowed to explore other species and races like a Twi'lek race or anything else because the characters were so important. Luke Skywalker, Leia, Han. So these were important characters. But now in this show, we've seen already so many species, and it seems like they have their own world, their own language, and we get to live through that now. So it's like a new experience for me as a Star Wars guy.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I didn't even think about that, but that is for sure true. And when we get to discussion on the end scene, we can definitely dive into that more.
Yeah, should we just spoiler alert everybody
really
in end scene? Okay, guys, we're not going to try and spoil everything, but we're going to review the show. We're not going to just talk about random stuff like we are now, but we're doing it because we love Star Wars, and the show was pretty good. There is an end scene, but is there anything we should talk about before that? I think what I noticed when he gets the pauldron melted, when he gets the payment melted to make the pauldron, his shoulder piece, I think that during the course of the show, I think he's going to collect more of those pieces and put more of his costume, what do you call it? His outfit, his uniform, whatever you call it, the Boba Fett suit, Boba Fett suit, the Mandalorian suit. I think at the end of the season, is what I mean, is I think it's going to be like, he's going to look different. It's going to be cool if that's the case. If not, it's all right.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Because you can tell that his, normal armor is, beat up, so then when he got the shoulder thing, it's like, oh, dang. He's getting a stronger piece of metal or whatever, and...
Yeah. And there's a little Robin Hood-esque business in there because the person, by the way, whoever that was melting that particular metal for the pauldron, that helmet is gorgeous. I think it's a woman character. I can't remember exactly, but she makes a mention of that the excess. So he didn't take all of that. She melted it, gave him only the pauldron's worth of that currency or whatever that was, that metal, which seems very precious. And it seems like they were making mention of that was only for Mandalorians. Like back in the day, though, that belonged to them, like that kind of metal, She said that the runoff of that metal is going to help other people, like other families or something. So there was a little bit of charity there where he gave the rest of his payment that was left over so she could spread it amongst others in the community. So there's a little Robin Hood-esque business in there.
So what did you think of his overall character and those flashbacks that kind of happen where you kind of see him getting carried away because something was happening when he was a child?
Yeah, well,
what do you make of that?
You and I have talked about flashbacks. We've worked on the White Knight together for 5 months. If you guys haven't seen the White Knight, by the way, it's a Harvey Dent thing we worked on. We talked about flashbacks and how we feel about flashbacks. I think they're good. But in this case, I didn't love these flashbacks. I mean, it's important to show it though. If he was traumatized as a kid, what turned him into becoming a bounty hunter? To joining a guild. Like what happened? Is it just a lineage, like bloodline, like his father, grandfather? They were all bounty hunters, Mandalorians, But the flashbacks, I think they're going to be important. I didn't love them, but they're necessary, to show how the guy became who he is.
Yeah. Well, what do you also think about his character? Because he felt kind of I felt like as the episode progressed, it kind of went from this, this bounty hunter, in the first couple scenes, he's, all badass, shooting those guys, into kind of a friendlier bounty hunter.
Yeah, it was a little bit joke.
Yeah,
the scene with
weird.
IG-11. By the way, guys, it was not IG-88. Can we stop saying it was IG-88? That's IG-11, and if you're not familiar with the best way to find out which is which, IG-88 is mainly dark, like a dark, shiny black. IG-11, which is the droid that was at that scene in that kind of Western-style thing where they were fighting together. And we're getting close, by the way, to the end scene here. You can already taste where we're going with this. But IG-11, what the hell was I saying? Remind me.
IG-11. Yeah.
But what'd you ask me? Oh my God! Oh, that was
just kind of how his character.
He got friendlier and more cutesy, and that is the moment where I felt Disney I don't want to. I'm not gonna say. I'm not gonna go crazy on this, but that's when Disney seems to have put their finger on the scale because they could have had this really serious Mandalorian, all this. But you're right. The trajectory of Episode One went from this badass, quiet, silent, like almost John Wayne dude in the canteen, going to collect his bounties, fighting the whole group of dudes in the canteen in the first scenes, to this guy who's kind of making not jokes, but it's cutesier. You know, it's Disneyer.
Yeah, I
So
got kind of scared with that, to
I
be
am
honest.
I'm nervous. I am nervous about Disney's finger on the scale. But I think it'll be a good serious show because I want a good serious show. I don't mind a little jokiness like a Marvel movie, you know, like these little kind of funny moments of levity. That's okay. I don't mind it.
But yeah, but I don't know if I'm gonna get this with Disney really and kind of Star Wars in general. But I want that like complex character where it's like, okay, he's a bounty hunter. He just cares about the money. He's not like friendly, and you're not gonna really see where his character is gonna go. This is kind of telling me like, well, his character may become like more heroic, and he may not even end up caring about the money if he gets into like this bigger kind of
I had that.
issue.
I had that.
And
cross
that is
my
what I'm
thoughts.
scared about.
I had that cross my thoughts that they're gonna turn this, character into what you just described there. I do have that worry. And you can see that kind of taking place. The cutesiness for me started when IG-11 and Mando were having that little duo scene versus like the entire village, the encampment of the mercenaries. By the way, if anybody knows Desperado, I think it's Desperado, Antonio Banderas movie. I don't remember which one it was. Was it? It was something like Desperado or something where he's doing this two-handed gun. It looked a little Matrixy, but it was in a western scene. Anyway, so the thing where IG-11 said he has to self-destruct because he won't be captured or something, that was kind of funny.
Oh yeah,
But it went on
yeah,
for
that
like
was
three,
good. I like
four
that.
times. So it was like on the verge of getting way too repetitive and cutesy for me. But it was funny as hell. He's like, "Don't do it, man. What are you doing? Don't self-destruct." All right. I think we have to go there, British. I think we got to get to the end of episode one here as we get to the end of our little review podcasts.
I guess so. Yeah, this is what I
Spoiler
did like
alert.
about
Is
his
this is this
character.
spoiler alert? Is this spoiler alert? I don't
Yeah,
think
it's spoil. I mean, you have to see it, right?
spoiler alert. You
Everyone
guys,
knows about it now.
yeah. Okay, guys, look at this. Look, this is how it's gonna go. If you guys don't want to hear what the end of the episode one is, it's not a huge thing. It's really cool, and it's a little bit magical. It was kind of cute and magical and nice and heartwarming.
Yeah, for sure.
We're
Yeah.
gonna give you guys 3 seconds to turn off the video. Make sure you just put a thumbs up. Feel free, okay? Share the stream. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. If you haven't, you should be. All right, so we're just gonna go there. IG-11 and Mando are splitting a bounty, and they located the bounty, and it was alive. So it had a not heartbeat or whatever you call it. It had a heat signature, let's say, and they both found this bounty they were looking for. It was a very small, what would you call, like a beach ball size kind of container,
Yeah, like a
containment
beach
unit.
ball.
It was about a beach ball. It was bigger than volleyball, a little less than a beach ball. And, Mando walks up to it and he, whatever, presses the little thing to open the containment unit. And inside is a species that we know and love, but we don't have too much experience with it outside of the main Star Wars movies. And even before we knew that the storyline, it's a green little species, guys. Okay, you should have turned off the video by now. I'm gonna say it. I
Yeah,
don't know.
just
I
say
don't,
it, man.
it was like a little Yoda baby. Okay, it's a Yoda baby. But
Yeah.
it's not Yoda baby. It's not Yoda unless he's like, what did you say earlier? We were saying he regressed in age.
Oh yeah, he.
Benjamin Button. He Benjamin Buttoned, and then now he's a baby.
Yeah, now he's a baby to be in episode 9.
We had this discussion in the stream, I think,
Oh,
a year and
man.
a half ago. People were asking me, do you know what Yoda's species is? Nobody knows. Is it even known? I'll call George Lucas. Is he going to tell me? What's this species called of Yoda? I don't know. If anybody knows,
Yeah, I
put in
have
the
no
comment
idea.
section. We don't know. But here's the interesting thing. The size of the beach ball, whatever, was the containment unit. Yoda was a little smaller, a little cuter, like a little gremlin from the 80s, little plush toy or something. It said that when he was given the bounty, he said it was 50 years old. And that's why it threw him off when he saw this little containment unit of this little creature. How could that be 50 years old? He opens it, and it's Yoda, and everyone knows. And Yoda's like over 900 years old and everything. But it's not Yoda. It can't be Yoda, right? Is there any way
No,
it could be Yoda?
there's
Is
no
there
way
any
it can be
way?
Yoda.
Is there any way they would like manipulate? The writers are really good. We talked about that. Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni. These guys are really good. Like, I got a lot of respect for Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni right now. I mean, they really, man, the writing is just going to be great. And we've not even seen the rest of the characters, man. We haven't seen like
Mm-hmm.
what, like 15 of the characters we know are coming, you know. So
Yeah, no, I think it was a good like pilot episode to kind of get you into this
it is.
like post
It
Return of
is.
the Jedi world, and then we can see where it goes. Honestly.
Oh, and here's the thing that you were referencing. What happens in that scene, folks, is Mando walks up with IG-11. They're standing side by side, looking at the bounty, and they weren't given the bounty together. They were given it separately, and they met at the encampment by accident. And IG-11 states that his orders were to bring it in dead, and Mando was given the assignment to bring it alive, but also, if possible, you can bring it in dead. Um, so IG-11 draws his weapon on the baby Yoda. There's a cute little baby smiling up at the the whole thing, and the camera pans down, and there is a I was gonna say gunshot. There is a blaster does go off, and someone does get a whacking. And I'll just say this: it wasn't Yoda. Yoda lives, okay? So that's what British
Yeah.
was saying. It's a little bit like we don't want him to turn into a total sweetheart, but if it happens, we can see where it all started, right there. The
But yeah,
compassion.
to be honest, like if he actually did shoot Yoda, I would have been like, all right, screw this show. I mean, that would have been devastating
Yeah,
right off the bat. That would have been absolutely crazy, honestly. People would have rioted all over the place.
I think so.
But yeah, no.
All right. Well, I think that's it. I mean, I think that's episode one. I think we did our job. All right, should we
Yeah.
just wrap it up? I think we'll wrap it up. All right.
Yeah, what do you give it out of 10?
Episode one, I will give it a 7.7 out of 10.
All right, I'll go 6.5.
6.5 from British, 7.7 from Pixel. If you guys enjoyed the
I'm
show,
brutal.
let us know in the comments section. He's very brutal. Actually, I was quite brutal. I think I could jack it to a 8.2, but it's the first episode. I'm including the music and everything. That's why it's a 7.7 for me. All right, folks. Well, thanks for listening. If you listened to all that, we appreciate it very much. We're going to do some more reviews. Episode 2 is right around the corner. So thanks for joining me, British. You want to say goodbye to the lovely chaps and ladies?
Yeah, man. Yeah, see you guys. Thanks for listening.
All right, we'll leave it there. You guys make sure to put a like, please. YouTube's being unfair, yeah? And stay tuned. We got stream Friday and Saturday, but we're going to do episode 2 review this weekend. So stay tuned for that. So thanks, everyone. Have a wonderful evening or morning, whatever time you're watching this. And all we can say is good night and good luck.